Hello everyone, my name is Lucia and I'm going to defend Fukuyama theory. Fukuyama wrote a book about the end of history. In this book, he didn't speak about the end of history as the end of the human species, but as the end of conflicts between ideologies, and the liberalism democracy as a global type of government. The base of his theory is a universal homogeneous state, where there is no fight or conflicts between major facts, and what remains is basically the economy. He also says that the materialism has a bigger influence among moral characteristics, and here is where the economy will take the lead. At the modern area, the new political thinking describes the world as the base of economy, and the space for ideology conflict disappears, as the use of military legitimacy decreased. At the end of the Second Global War, the fascism was defeated as a material way, but it was translated as an ideal way. This can be seen in the fact that the fascism didn't resurface after the war, because the self-idea of fascism wasn't attractive. This shows that liberalism overcomes about other ideologies.
Hello, my name is Angel and I'm going to defend the theory about Samuel Huntington about the clash of civilizations. This is a cultural entity based on a group of aspects, principally language, history, and customs. This cultural organization is guided by the principal conflicts that happened next to the Cold War, and this will be product of the clash of civilizations between different cultures. All the conflicts are between states and superpowers. All the civilizations have similar bases, and every part of the world has a different ideology. So this causes lots of problems and differences between nations. For example, the Occident is distinguished between the Asiatic Muslim. For Huntington, the biggest civilizations that are in charge of the political globalizations are China, Europe, Japan, Buddhist, Islamic, and Latin Americans. Huntington indicates that it's necessary to have new aspects that could be useful in the international regimen. That is the actually, and every analyst for international relations actually has to matter about the civilizations that are in the states. Also, the influence in the other countries with the finality to understand an objective way of why conflicts are developed. The conflicts could be religious, nationalist, and conflicts of the own state. In this theory, the militarism is essential because the fear in losing of the nations is increasing.
Angel, in your poster, you mentioned that militarism is necessary, and I disagree with you. This is because it wouldn't be easier and cheaper that the nations have the same ideology so that they don't have to fight because of their thinking, and this will make the militarism decrease because they will have nothing to fight for. I also think that Fukuyama's theory is better because he says that with this type of government, the economy will rise and will be with this government, everyone has a vote and everyone has a voice to be heard. The idea where the liberalism is the best type of ideology, it's because in the Second Global War, in Italy was ruled by fascism, and when it was conquered, this type of ideology vanished, and it didn't reappear because the people didn't want that type of ideology, and they believed that liberalism was better, so they don't have the need to go back to the fascism. A problem that the liberal democracy will be the religion and the culture, because this makes people think in different ways and this might get a little bit messy because not everyone thinks the same. But as I said, the conflict will be less because the ideology will be the same.
You said that liberalist democracy is going to be the global type of government, but how is it going to be established in other countries that doesn't believe in that ideology and don't accept that type of government? So how do you say it's going to be internationally accepted? Huntington says and believes that if there is a third global war, will be caused by the crash of several civilizations with different ideologies. For example, I see other countries that have another type of government or ideology different as the democratic and liberalist that are doing the things well. I think this could be changed, not just follow the Fukuyama's regimen and theory. In one part of the Huntington's theory, they said that the modernization processes are influenced by economic and social, by influencing the civilizations to change their way of mind and make believe them things different as they are in their group of society. This is going to affect also the conflicts between the civilizations because they are going to crash and begin a new problem because the way of thinking in their own states. Huntington says that cultures and civilizations have the same base, so if we are at the same ideology and government, as you said, it wouldn't be the same if we are in Mexico or we are in other country different of us. In addition, having the same ideology may cause disappearance of the uniqueness in the civilizations.
You asked me if it wouldn't be like bad to make another civilization take the democracy, the liberalist democracy. Well, this is said like in a long term, because you can see that between 1970s and the 2014, there was a democracy governments were about 35, and now it's approximately about 120. This just says that gradually every country is turning to democracy because they see that it's the best type of government. Well, you also asked me another thing that well, as I said, any nation have a democracy. Don't refuse it after a period of time. So this may be because the people think that their voices are heard and because they feel complete. They feel that they complete the culture and the other thing. In conclusion, Fukuyama's theory is the best because he says that the liberalist democracy is going to be and is nowadays the best type of government and ideology. And with this type of government ideology, the conflicts and fights between people will decrease because this type of ideology and government makes them have nothing to fight for. Another thing is that nowadays society is so materialism, and this materialism has a bigger influence about moral characteristics. So this makes the economy be the thing that is going to take the lead. And also the implement of this theory, as it says, like the end of the history, will make wars and armed conflicts, be like about 0% or less than nowadays? Well, I think I won this debate because democracy has been improving in the number of of countries that has it from 35 to approximately 120. So this says that democracy in the future will be the one that's going to be the type of government. Another thing is that this will make conflicts to disappear.
Yeah.
And that liberalism overcomes other ideologies, as for example, in the Second World War, it defeated the fascism. Thank you.
I would say that militarism is very important in Huntington's theory because in some nations as United States and Russia, it influence in the less powerful nations because they have fear of them and they think twice before thinking of attacking. In the future, there will be no a universal civilization. Instead, it is going to be a world with lots of civilizations. Each one would need to learn to interact and coexist between them. I think Huntington's theory is better than Fukuyama because instead of having a government in each civilization, we could have just an opinion. Huntington's theory wins because not every civilization will accept the same type of government as you said that Fukuyama is implementing the liberalism, and so there will be conflicts, intern conflicts and extern, because of the population that won't agree with that, and they will maybe make a civil war with the ones who thinks it's better the theory of Fukuyama and the ones who wants to continue like Huntington said.